Okay, so Stellar Blade. So by this time now, everyone should know about the censorship. And obviously I'm reading a script. And it's kind of hard to make the script sound natural, so you just bear with me. It's nothing I can do about it. I don't want it to go through like a million takes, so let's just do this. So Stellar Blade released with a day one patch. Multiple outfits ended up being censored. Now, I'm anti-censorship, but my thoughts on this are somewhat complicated. Number one, the CEO of Shift Up says that the censorship is essentially his original vision. Now, I obviously don't believe that. I don't think there's anyone who believes that. Because objectively, this change only pisses off consumers of the game. The people who don't like Eve because she is sexualized still don't like her and won't buy the game. The people who did buy the game, partly because Eve is sexy, either don't care or do care and are now pissed off and considering getting a refund. It's literally a lose-lose situation. From a strategical standpoint, it makes no sense for him to say this. And number two, the censorship is happening literally at the 11th hour, as late as possible. All the trailers up to now had uncensored outfits, and all of a sudden it releases, and in a day one patch, there is censorship. So we're to believe he just woke up in the middle of the night and is like, yeah, censorship seems like a good idea. And number three, these are the developers of Nikke, the game known for a sexy woman. Why would a person who is CEO of that company all of a sudden want to censor themselves? So yeah, I believe this is 1000% Sonny's fault, and Sonny has a metaphorical gun to his head. And I see this argument pop up a lot where they say it's a design change. So I think anyone saying this is clearly gaslighting. A design change that happens to only go in one direction, and that direction is covering Eve up. Like, no, there's no design change that's like, okay, let's expose more skin or like make her like more sexy. So the supposed design change only goes in one way that conveniently aligns with what they would have changed if they censored it. But my opinion about this whole thing, where I branch off from everyone else, is what happened. So for anyone who doesn't know, if you bought the physical version, if you don't patch it, the game is uncensored, and you can play the whole game uncensored, but you don't have access to New Game Plus, and you have to remain offline. This is interesting because effectively it gives you access to an uncensored version of the game if you bought physical. If Sony did force Shift Up to censor, this to me is Shift Up's last act of defiance against Sony, and it's very smart. They were able to release a uncensored and censored version of the game that's fully playable while being under the thumb of Sony, because generally when things are censored, you only get one version. You only get one version, the censored version, or you have to learn a completely new language to get the uncensored version. Well, for this game, you just need to remain offline. I think Shift Up deserved props for that. I don't know if it was planned, if it was a planned act of defiance against Sony, but no censored game has really been able to pull off something like this, or at least like nothing recently. That in our situation, we have an uncensored version of a game. We don't have to jump through a million hoops to play. So ultimately, I'm glad I bought the game because I can still play an uncensored copy. And I think Shift Up did the best they could in a shitty situation, far beyond what most developers would have done. We still have a way to play the game uncensored without too much hassle. I don't blame anyone for not supporting the game because of the censorship. I'm just expressing where I stand on it. Now, regarding the Western games that remain uncensored, like Baldur's Gate, Last of Us, both of these games have had like nude scenes and like sex scenes. Like, not, I don't think showing full genitalia stuff, but they're far sexier than like Stellar Blade, in the sense like they show like a lot more. I think the idea behind it is if it's purely sexually gratifying for straight men, Sony is more likely to censor you rather than if it's sexualized for both sexes and if it's sexualized for LGBT. I think the reasoning is stupid, but I assume that's how they think. So yeah, that's my whole that's the whole video. So yeah, that's my thoughts. I will see you later. Peace.